What's the next game?
Black Ops.
Black Ops, yeah.
I don't even know where to put this.
I'm putting it as great.
That's what I was thinking.
And the reason it's not God tier is just because, like, I feel like they could have done just a tiny bit better with it. Like, in terms of gameplay, how it played, in terms of story mode and all that stuff, it was great. It didn't feel as memorable as all of the other games. And I feel like part of that reason is because you came hot from Modern Warfare 2. And I feel like Black Ops, like, I feel like with every Call of Duty, what we do is, and it's worse now, but I feel like with every Call of Duty, what we do is we always compare, like, okay, here's Modern Warfare 2. This is a phenomenal game. One of the best, this arguably the best Call of Duty in the entire franchise, right? And here comes Black Ops right behind it, right? You're riding that coattail of hype, and I just kind of feel like like maybe people were just too, like, they had their hopes up for a game that would blow Modern Warfare 2 out of the water, and Black Ops just didn't have that. But regardless, it was still a phenomenal game.
Black Ops was interesting because this was the game that I got the Red Ring of Death on my original Xbox on.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, seeing some missing textures and textures freaking out while playing Black Ops was very fun while playing Vorkuta. But in general, I think the story was good. I think the multiplayer was good. It brought in the wager matches and introduced gun game, which is one of the most popular modes to date in multiplayer. Most iconic, rather. Had sticks and stones. You had all that fun stuff. One in the chamber.
Yeah.
But it was the first game to introduce an emblem maker. It had a good story, it had good multiplayer, and it had pretty good zombies. But that's what it was. It was just good.
Yeah, I feel like there was something that it was missing.
It did have a lot of Easter eggs, like standing up out of the chair, typing Zork in the terminal, Dead Ops Arcade. You know, it remastered all of the zombies maps. It brought back, it brought us fantastic zombies experiences in Shangri-La, Moon, Call of the Dead, Ascension, 5. You know, a lot of varying places to fight the Horde. But with that came some very interesting mechanics, like, for instance, Kino der Toten does not have an Easter egg, was only made for survivability. Ascension was the first map to have an Easter egg, but didn't give you really anything for it except for a death machine that lasted 90 seconds, and I don't remember if it gave you all perks. But that could be completed. I believe you could also do it solo, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Then came Call of the Dead, which gave you an achievement for completing it on solo and for completing it on multiplayer or solo. So what ended up happening is that was revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
But it had George and the Fog, which the zombies community either loves or hates. So that split the community already.
Yeah.
Then Shangri-La came by. You needed 4 players to complete the Easter egg on Shangri-La. So it was just like, well, gotta find a squad now, which led to more hesitant lobbies where if you wanted to just survive, a lot of people will be going hard on the Easter egg, and that's really what kickstarted the "why aren't you doing this" stuff and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Then Moon happens, and they add that one step that kills most runs, and that is the excavator. You have to randomly wait for a period of time for the excavator to start, and it could happen whenever.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have a set path on how they wanted you to do Easter eggs, and they added a lot of parts that were not necessary, but made the maps iconic because of that. So from a zombies perspective, it had great environments, but the gameplay could just feel halted at some points.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm putting it at great for that reason.
Yeah. It just kind of feels like it feels like while it was a great game, it just kind of felt like there was that one obstacle, and like it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it was. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what the difference was between keeping this game at great and then keep skyrocketing towards one of the best games, right? Like it's hard to talk about like what exactly was that thing that keeps it at just a great game, right? Because you'll get different answers from different people. I mean, the zombies community is definitely going to, to bring up different things, and the multiplayer and competitive community are going to bring up different things, and then the casual community is going to bring up different things. It's hard to kind of pinpoint with this game specifically where it went wrong in keeping it out of God tier.
It's interesting because a lot of the iconic maps actually come from Black Ops 1. And
Yep.
I think, for instance, Nuketown.
Yeah. Nuketown is the most iconic map, and yet
I think what happened with Black Ops, if I had to guess, you can finish first and then I'll go on.
No, you go.
I think the problem with it was that it brought in new characters and the story was great and all, but what ended up happening was like it's like okay, the multiplayer was great, the campaign was great, the zombies was great, but there was nothing special about it. It was just like, okay, this is like